I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like,
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week and some surprising news as free agency is still a few weeks away. But some players have already been cut, and I think the Dolphins did it for sure, but the Cowboys just did it as well with releasing Logan Wilson, who they traded for.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising, and I think a lot of these cuts kind of are a change of how they're going to go about this next season. A lot of these teams that are making these cuts kind of are hoping that the season will turn out a little bit better this upcoming year, and I'm excited to see kind of if some of these guys do get picked up where they end up.
Yeah, Logan Wilson is interesting because he was on two very bad defenses, and it really looks like the Cowboys are revamping this defense under Christian Parker and moving it to a 3-4. And I'm not really sure how Logan Wilson fits into that and how the Cowboys are going to attack that position through the draft to fit that scheme better. But I would say the Dolphins as well, you could put under the same category of Miami just clearing house and kind of setting a new culture under Hafley.
Yeah. I think he also just kind of wanted to give Hill the chance of like, hey, if you want to keep playing, it's not going to be here. We appreciate what you did here. And that's the same kind of thing with Chubb. Both those guys have been, Hill obviously has dealt with a lot of injuries these past like 2 seasons, but Chubb's also dealt with a plethora of injuries, and their defense is already good. So I expect these guys. I expect Chubb to get picked up. I don't know what's going to happen with Hill though. Do you think that he comes back next year, or do you think he's kind of done?
I think he comes back. But yeah, and there were also guys making a lot of money for Miami that just isn't the position to compete right now, and those are guys that can really help you compete. Hill, because of his injury, it is difficult to see when, but I could see Hill going to the Chiefs and kind of providing a new factor, or kind of a maybe Las Vegas, or just kind of providing a value for a team that wants to be competitive. I think Vegas would be interesting if he went there, but I think he'll still sign somewhere and team would be willing to bet on him because of his speed, even though it's unclear with his injury.
Yeah. Injuries always make it tough, though, and they're usually the major reason. Obviously, that's not why Logan Wilson got cut, but in most cases, injuries are why people get cut.
Yeah, I think Logan Wilson was just bad teams and wanting to move from the Bengals to another team, and the Cowboys took a shot, but just doesn't work in the scheme they're trying to do. And then Bradley Chubb, I'm very interested to see where he goes because pass rushers are always on the premier market, and just people are always looking for more pass rushers.
Yeah, pass rushers, D-line, and O-line, we've always talked about the most important positions on the field, so someone will add them.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but are there any other cuts that you think could happen that would be surprising? Because I was not expecting Hill or Chubb to get cut.
Well, obviously, a couple weeks ago, I know it was a while ago, but Kirk Cousins obviously got cut. So I could see it with some of the like older QBs maybe getting cut just because they're not going to start this year. Now, I don't necessarily know who's going to fall into that boat or who's free agents or not, but I think guys that fit into that Cousins kind of backup QB. They're not going to start, so we're going to give them a chance somewhere else so we can save some cap. I could see that happening.
Yeah. And yeah, they haven't officially cut him, but it is expected because of that contract. And mentioning that, I wonder if Geno Smith could be another one.
Yeah, that's kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. So yeah, I think also the salary cap could be a huge part of some teams, because that's kind of what you saw with the Dolphins as well as the Falcons with just Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I think those older QBs are kind of it feels like those are the, especially in like we have so many young QBs now that are playing that they kind of look over the old QBs and are, especially I think the contracts are a big reason why. I mean, after you lose that rookie contract, it's so expensive, and guys like you said, Geno, I could definitely see him being someone that's cut.
Yeah, it really is the contract and just how much money you're spending on an older quarterback when you kind of know what they are versus the potential of a young quarterback.
Yeah, we know what this guy is, so let's go with somebody that we don't know who he is.
Yep. And I'm very interested to see what happens to Cousins and Smith, as some teams have kind of signed quarterbacks on easier deals and they've done well.
Yeah, that's true. Sam Darnold's kind of the poster boy for that, a poster child, and that's the same thing with obviously Geno Smith. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think there's a couple teams out there that may look at Cousins or Geno, but I think that it makes sense to cut them too because those contracts are they're damning.
Yeah. So it'll be very interesting, and yeah, I think kind of where a team's going, especially under new players, could cause some cuts. I wonder if Arizona does something, and Vegas, as we talked about Geno Smith, but other guys. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.